All right, let's see what we got going here. Get her going. See here. Get her going. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and this is MMOpinion.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and this is MMOpinion.
All right. Seem to be good to go there. Let me lower that just a little bit, and we'll throw on some captions. All right. Hey guys, you're the Ranger. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome back to more Skyrim. We'll be doing that in just a minute. I have some burritos here that I need to eat. I figured, why not just make some content out of that? You know, me and you are gonna sit down, have dinner, watch Josh Strife. You know, hang out. I could have eaten it before stream, but why bother? All right. So yeah. So we're gonna eat first, and then get on some scrim. Put that in the chat so anybody that comes in, if I got a mouthful of burrito, you know, it's there. You know what's
A
going on.
bite-sized show where we talk about topics relevant to the MMO gaming landscape, and I give my opinions on them. Each week we'll look through another question or point of view within the industry and analyse it. These videos are kept short enough.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself because I'm sure nobody wants to hear me chewing, plus the mic gets in the way, so it's like, you know. Alright.
Enough to be interesting and long enough to hopefully generate a discussion in the comments. If you have a question or theory about the MMO world you want discussed, then leave it in the comments below or message me on Discord. As usual, a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters and Twitch subs who make my channel possible. Right, let's begin. This week, why you cannot kill World of Warcraft. Now that's a powerful statement and will instantly divide most of you. You'll either be nodding along and agreeing or screaming about how WoW is overrated and terrible and there are better games out already, and you're kind of both right. But let me put it this way. You cannot kill World of Warcraft because it's not just a game anymore. It's evolved into something much, much stronger and more widespread, and this is precisely what keeps it from dying. Now I'm not saying you can't make a better game. I'm saying even if you did, you still wouldn't kill it. Now that sounds odd, so let's investigate. Now this could easily be an entire essay, but I'm going to trim the fat and only put forward what I...
Thought it was done chewing, it wasn't. I'm gonna make a prediction real quick. In what he's saying about you could make a better game, but you can't kill it. It's very much like Call of Duty, where Call of Duty basically can't die. It's bigger than Jesus, you know, like ridiculous. Like it's in a state. World of Warcraft is in a state. Funny enough, they're both owned by Activision, but World of Warcraft is in such a state that it's just too goddamn big to fail. You know, like it can fail, it just can't fail hard enough to be destroyed without taking literally the rest of the company with it. You know, like the entire company would have to be bankrupt for World of Warcraft to quote unquote die. Same thing goes for Call of Duty. And I mean, if you look around at Call of Duty's gameplay is exceedingly antiquated, and it's not even consistent, right? It's not even consistent gameplay from year to year. They keep trying to switch it up, change this, do that, do this, and like to the point where they will change fundamental things, like in Modern Warfare 2, where they were like, hey, for Modern Warfare 22, we're gonna like take out the minimap and force you to use this compass thing that nobody likes and everybody just wants a minimap back, and you've told us that. But you know, eat shit, nerds. We're gonna do it anyway. Which I mean, that's what you get with your average Call of Duty player. It's like, you know, they will piss on you. They will tell you they're pissing on you, and you will open up your mouth and drink it, right? Because that's what a Call of Duty player does. That's just what they do, you know? Like they just accept any of this garbage that Activision gives them. You know, and that's not that's not to say they're stupid. It's just that they won't accept when to break their addiction with the game, you know, and go play something that might be better. You know, and to be fair, the like who are they competing with, right? Call of Duty right now, who are they exactly going to compete with? Overwatch is not Call of Duty. Things that get close to Call of Duty maybe Battlefield, but Battlefield has been dead for a couple years now, where it's not really worth playing. You know, there's shooters here and there that you can play for fun. You got your CS:GOs and your Valorants and your Fortnite, whatever. But yeah, no, it's one of those things of like you would need someone to directly compete. In World of Warcraft's case, you do have people directly competing with the MMO style, right? The MMO genre. But yeah, it's just one of the things of like, yeah, do I think Guild Wars 2 plays a hell of a lot better than World of Warcraft? Objectively, it does. It is objectively superior in almost every way to World of Warcraft. It's like it's so much better. It's not a subscription model. First off, so the monetization's immediately better. It's like one-time purchase to upgrade your account. Let's see what else. The mounts are way cooler. The gameplay is far better because it's action oriented and keeps you on the move instead of just having you like stare at something you've locked onto and just keep hitting the thing, you know? Or having a million fucking macros on hotbar. It's like, no, you got 5 abilities. That's it. 5. Here's 5 things that are locked to what weapon you're using. So yeah, this is very much like Call of Duty in that case of like, you can absolutely make a better game. There are like Titanfall 2 is easily objectively superior to Call of Duty, right? In every way as a shooter. But, you know, Call of Duty is Call of Duty. Simple as. Moving on.
I believe is the strongest, most condensed argument for the immortality of World of Warcraft. Now, World of Warcraft wasn't the first MMO, actually far from it. It has predecessors such as Asheron's Call, EverQuest, or Ultima Online. They were out for years before, but even they were inspired by even older games like Tibia, the original online Neverwinter, or the island of Kesmai. The MMO genre had existed and been pretty popular before World of Warcraft came along, but World of Warcraft had something those other games didn't: mass market appeal. Now, EverQuest was popular, Ultima Online was popular, but World of Warcraft was an absolute phenomenon. Quite simply, more people played it. The graphic requirements were low, so minimum spec machines could run it. The gameplay was much more simple than the stat-heavy MMOs of the time, so it appealed to people wanting a more streamlined approach to gameplay. And they had an absolutely massive marketing budget, which, combined with the fact they were springboarding off the success of the Warcraft real-time strategy franchise, made for a perfect storm of a game that was easy to find, easy to run, and easy to play, and it was being pushed left, right, and centre. World of Warcraft swept onto the MMO scene like an absolute tidal wave, and not only did it round up all of the non-MMO players and introduce them to MMOs, it stole vast amounts of players from the already established games. Its success was immense. You can't deny the success of the game even if you hate it. It is still used as the player base yardstick other games are measured against. When a new game releases or gets an expansion, the question of does it compare to WoW during Wrath of the Lich King always comes up, and the answer is always no. No, it doesn't. So
Just chiming in here. Wrath of the Lich King was amazing. Like, that was when I first started playing WoW, like, because that was back when I first gained access to it, was around Wrath of the Lich King. Oh my god, that was good. It was so fun. It was so fun. Oh my god. Like, that was my first experience with, with the concept of an MMO, first off. I knew of World of Warcraft, I just hadn't played it. And then I really started to understand MMOs. And I was like, oh shit, this is kind of fun. I played with nobody else. I had no guilds. I talked to no one. I maybe babbled to a couple of people around Goldshire, right? And like the forest, and I didn't get very far with my character either. I really didn't. I don't think I even got past the Westfall. I was a human mage, and I was an arcane fire mage. It's so funny because hold on, there's the episode of there's, if I can find the thing. Yeah, preparing for battle. This clip, like, there's a part in here where Cartman talks about it, and like, Kyle actually plays my exact class, like, like note for note, it's my class.
You guys, the moment of truth is here.
Okay, when does he talk to Kyle?
Fire spells for max.
Okay, here we go.
To raise our intelligence. Hang on, I'm chaining my fire spells for max range. Nice. Stan, what enchantment
Okay, no, that's not it. Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
does your Cloak of the Tiger have?
I'm trying to keep the goddamn copyright bot from picking this up.
Cloak to Kenny, he needs the agility boost for bow attacks. Okay, hold on. This fight.
Okay, no, that's not the part. There's a part where he talks to Kyle about, like, aren't you... He says, aren't you spec to reduce cast time?
What's the auto locate map?
Where? Here we go. I think it's there.
Okay, hit him with Pyroblast, Kyle. Casting. There's an 8-second cast time. Aren't you spec to reduce cast time? No, I'm an arcane fire mage. Christ.
Okay, so it's so fucking funny because that's exactly what my class was. My wizard was literally an arcane fire mage, a human arcane fire mage, a male, not a female. But Kyle's class is literally mine because when he said like pyroblast, I'm like, oh my god, I remember that spell, and it does it does like channel. It does channel. I remember that. Oh my god, it was so good. God, I love that episode of Make Love at Warcraft. But yeah, no, like the whole like Wrath of the Lich King. I played during Wrath of the Lich King. I started a new character around like what was it? It was, I want to say Cataclysm. I hopped back in with Cataclysm because they said you could play a werewolf, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to be a werewolf and a goblin. Hell yeah. And then I think after Cataclysm came Mists of Pandaria, and World of Warcraft got exceedingly irrelevant. Let's see. Hang on. So I'll get back to finishing my food in a second. I just want to go off on this little tangent. You all know how I am. We do tangents. It's how we be around here. Okay. Yeah, there was Classic WoW, there's Burning Crusade. I was not there for Burning Crusade, but I was there for Wrath of the Lich King. That was like the big kick in the ass. And then you had Cataclysm. A lot of people didn't like Cataclysm. I liked Cataclysm. I wasn't as deep into the world, so maybe it was like you had to know that there was something wrong, you know? So let's see. After that was Mists of Pandaria, then Warlords of Draenor, Battle for Azeroth, right? Battle for Azeroth is probably the one people most associate with modern WoW because it had the I believe that one is the one that had the big fucking thing, the big like cinematic. Let's see, like it had like the big like demon elf mommy cinematic from a couple years ago. I love this cinematic. It's just the animation's so good. And the vibe of it and the narrative, it's so good. Can I get copyright on a fucking game cinematic? I don't think so. Wait, hold on. Why don't I get copyright? Can you copyright a game cinematic? Does that fall under like copyright claims on YouTube? That's a good question. If it doesn't, why not? Why do films count? But these are narrative. But I guess technically because they're advertisements, so you can't really like this cinematic was made specifically to advertise the game to people. Like it's not like it's a story thing. It's not part of a movie or a TV show. It's now if they recreated this in a movie or in a TV show, that movie or TV show version would, I think, technically fall under copyright because it's part of a larger narrative that's part of the total product. Whereas here, it's just, oh my god, where's the part? So like, you got the Alliance like assaulting this fortress. I think. Are they assaulting the fortress or are they doing the fortress? Hold on. Yeah, no, the Alliance are assaulting the fortress. And the fortress city is being like held by the Horde. Hold on, let's see here. Ooh, this is the part. Yeah, like the Alliance is coming in, the guys, and so this is actually kind of what my idea is. I mentioned before I wanted to do a Warhammer animation, and, fucking GW, try me, I'll see you in court. Like, half joking, half serious. Go ahead, hop across the pond. We'll see how U.S. copyright law wants to stack up against your British ass. I love just poking the hornet's nest, man. But yeah, no, or shaking the hornet's nest, poking the bear, But this whole trailer is great because it kind of gives a vibe to that of like what I want to do with my Warhammer animation of like there's guys and they have like this they have this last charge and whatever and they're just like and I'm kind of stealing from Blizzard in a way with like because what she does here is very similar to what I'm thinking, but it's kind of an archetype of character, and in a battle like this there's always like that one infamous character or that one famous hero who bravely charges the barricade, Like, that's the thing. But no, this part is fantastic. I love it so much. She looks down, gets determined, comes in, and just starts whooping ass. Like, oh god. It makes you want to play for the horde, you know? Wait for it. You might not believe it yet. You might not go. You might be like, oh, I don't want to be an orc. I don't want to be a Taurian. I don't want to be a. I don't want to be a goofy looking troll dude with big tusks. No. Like, why would I do that? Let's play for the Alliance. Let's be the good guys. This is gonna make you want to play for the horde. This is gonna make you switch teams in more than one, depending on your gender. Like, oh my god, she just takes him out. Here it comes. Like, literally this section. Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about with it. You know what? We're gonna watch this cinematic after. Hold on. Hold on. Does YouTube copyright game cinematics? Like, is that a problem? They can choose where they want their work to be displayed or used, whether someone else can use in the works or not. For YouTube, copyright goes step further. It's not only about a Copyright Act protects even the gameplay videos on a gaming channel. Right. Yeah, technically it is gameplay. It is covered. I mean, I can dispute it. They can't really do anything about it because that 99.99999% of the time, unless the company is like CBS or Nintendo or one of these dickhead companies, you're gonna end up with like that. But we'll watch that after because it's just such a good cinematic. I want you guys to see it in full. But that part where the orc gets up and he's screaming and he's got the banner, like he's charging it, it's exactly the vibe I want to capture with the script I'm currently writing. But oh my god. But anyway, back to the video.
So love it or hate it, the simple fact remains that World of Warcraft made a massive impact on the MMO landscape for better or worse, and now every single game designer wanted a slice of that pie. They wanted to either match or, due to having lofty aspirations, exceed World of Warcraft's success. They wanted to make the game that they would describe, and the description has now become a cliché phrase, the WoW killer. Over the years, World of Warcraft grew, putting out expansion packs, TV adverts with popular celebrities, board games, books.
There it is. There's the man. That is what got me into World of Warcraft right there. That advertisement for Mr. T. You know, I'm Mr. T and I'm a Night Elf Mohawk. What's your game? I loved that ad. That was such a great ad. That's exactly what brought me into World of Warcraft. It was so good.
Posters, and slowly gathered a cosplay community and eventually an entire convention. And it's this exact expansion away from the virtual and into the real that has guaranteed its place in the gaming landscape forever. To explain this to both World of Warcraft lovers and haters and to remove nostalgia and prejudice, let's examine a similar situation with something neutral. Let's look at two unlikely things that actually experience the same cultural impact: football and Pokemon. Now, you don't need to like football or Pokemon for this analogy to work. Personally, I'm indifferent to football, and while I like the Pokemon franchise, I'm not a hardcore fan, so this works quite well. Imagine someone saying they were going to make a better sport than football, and thus become more popular than football. Now, this is the fallacy. The idea that if a sport is better, it would instantly become more popular, because those two are separate things. Just because something is better, objectively or subjectively, does not mean it will instantly, or over time, become more popular. Because football is not just the 90 minutes on the pitch being played. It's so much more. It's the merchandising, it's the advertising, it's the temple-like stadiums built to it. It's the queues of people waiting to get in. It's the cult. It's the tribal warfare that's simulated between rival teams. The analysis of the after-game tactics, the posters, the team allegiances, the rivalries between famous teams, the drink with your mates in a pub after discussing the game, the kickabout in the park. It's a personality to some. Some people make the game their entire existence. Now consider, even if a sport did come along that was objectively more fun to play, more fun to watch, easier to get into, and yet more complex to master, even if that...
I was actually watching a video a minute ago by Josh where he mentioned choice paralysis. And if you guys don't know what choice paralysis is, it is the action of your brain basically refusing to make a choice when it has too many choices because it's inundated with information and possibilities. So it's one reason that humans gravitate to binary systems, and it's one reason that we have such tribal innate feelings to begin with. Like my team, your team, yes, no, 1, 2, right? Or 0, 1 if you want to talk literal binary. But, that's one reason this happens. And so what he's talking about is like, people making it their whole lives. It's like that's how people get into cults and shit, And when you look at it, sports are a cult, right? It just happens to be a cult that doesn't ask you to sacrifice your firstborn. At least, depending on what team you're rooting for. If you want the Knicks to win the playoffs, you might need to do that. But but no. I mean, I can joke about the Knicks because that's my dad's team. I bust his balls about it all the time. It's funny. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like people like to put themselves in camps. It's why World of Warcraft has, it doesn't just have like Alliance and Horde, right? You're not all just like soldiers of the Alliance defeating the evil NPC Horde, right? They let you choose. Do you want to be the good guy or the bad guy? That's why. So that you can be like, my team, your team, my team, your team. That's why PvP exists in MMOs, because you want to prove yourself against something other than the machine. You want to say, my team kicked your team's ass, And so that's just fascinating, And it's a very good analogy to use football and be like, oh yeah, here's football, and I assume he's talking about like soccer, like not like American football, but like yeah. Because he said the pitch, and I'm like, the pitch? What the fuck? No, the field. It's called a field, not a pitch. What the fuck? But yeah, no. But the analogy stands. Like, yeah, it would be silly to say like, oh, I'll just make a game better than football. It's like, I mean, you could try. But ironically, video games themselves, like the esports scene has not taken off in the West as much as it has in the East. But overall, in the entertainment sphere, games make way more money than anything else. Like sports makes less money, fucking movies like make less money. All these other like passive things make less money, and it's just like, damn, like that's crazy. Like that video games have now become the thing that makes fuck ton of money. Computers have always been expensive. Like that's tech is always like a cutting edge. Like if you're on cutting edge tech, you're always making money, right? Silicon Valley tech bro shit, right? But damn, like gaming, the problem with gaming is that games are so complex that even when you try to simplify them, and like the only reason you have like Dota 2 working is because people that watch Dota 2 for the international or watch League of Legends for whatever their championship is, nobody gives a shit because everybody's too busy watching the Dota 2 internationals. But yeah, no, like the reason people tune in, I don't even play Dota 2 anymore. I sunk 700 hours into that when I was a teenager, and then I stopped playing forever. And I just can't get back into it. I'm like, I'm done with the whole top-down MOBA scene, which is why I was hoping Paragon would be coming back. But I mean, they're still working on the Western version. The Eastern version got fucked completely. But yeah, like the reason that works is because you have the common. They modeled that after regular sports. You have the sports commentators and stuff. So it's just an evolution of sports commentators. And it's a little more interesting because you can have pretty colors on the screen instead of like, oh, we got to try to make sure to frame this guy on the field and whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. But, like if I want to settle in and watch a sport, though, I'll watch baseball, because baseball's a nice thing to kind of anticipate and watch, Anyway, back to it.
That sport was created, it would not have the immediate tribal loyalty that football already has. It wouldn't have the temples to playing, the advertising power of FIFA, the established governing bodies. The new sport being a better sport is actually only a very small part of the success puzzle. This is also apparent in the advertising for FIFA games. The advert literally says, with football, you are never alone. They're not pushing the sport or the game. They're enticing you with the community. For a more geek-appropriate example, and one that I would be able to empathise with more, consider Pokemon. While it started as a card game and an anime, it is now the highest-earning franchise in the world. It's got movies, it's got multiple TV shows, and endless merchandise. It is McDonald's toys. Pokemon may have started life as a card game, but it is now so much more. So when someone says, I'm going to make a better card game than Pokemon, they might actually be able to do that. But it won't matter, because being a good card game is no longer what keeps Pokemon alive. It is now a self-sustaining entity. It's relevant simply for being popular, and popular simply for being relevant. It's a cycle that continues itself. It has pushed past what it began as and transcended. It is more. It is a phenomenon unto itself. And you will not beat this simply by making a better card game. An example would be, objectively, Magic the Gathering is a more complex card game than Pokemon, and yet it hasn't reached anywhere near the mass appeal of the little yellow mouse.
I'm going to explain why in 3 words. Fucking sucks to watch. Okay, 4 words. Like, have you guys ever tried to watch Magic the Gathering? Like, you honest to God, have you ever tried to watch somebody try to play Magic the Gathering? Like, playing is one thing, right? It's a lot like watching somebody play an RTS. Have you ever sat down and decided, hey, today I'm going to watch StarCraft 2 tournaments? Why? Like, what? Why would you choose to do that? It's a bunch of complicated numbers on the screen, and you have to keep track of the board state. There's just no way to succinctly do it. This is why Runeterra took over as like the coolest fucking card game for casual play, is because it's a very simplified, easy thing to follow. It can be complex at higher play levels, but it's simple enough at the lower levels. You can understand where everything's kind of going, right? But MTG, the reason nobody watches MTG, Josh, is because it's too goddamn complicated. Like, nobody wants to have to learn all the rules just to be like, oh, what's he gonna do now? You know, is he gonna pull the Habidi Dawada combo? Like, no, like, just stop. No. That's why I don't watch that shit, you know? I can watch Dota 2 easier than I can watch MTG, and Dota 2 is complicated enough.
To bring it back to gaming, this is the situation we are in with World of Warcraft. It may have begun life as an online game, Horde versus Alliance, and if that was all it still is, then dethroning it would be a simple task. All you'd need to do is make an objectively better game and players would have no reason not to switch, but that isn't the case. Long-time World of Warcraft players aren't just playing because it's a good game. They're playing because it's a community. It's a familiar, nostalgic place to exist. It's a childhood memory that's sustained itself into adulthood. It is a lifestyle to them, with clans and Twitch streamers and YouTube personalities covering it. Playing Warcraft means you are part of something much, much larger than just a game. It means you're part of a subculture. And just as with football, with Warcraft, you are never alone. World of Warcraft has evolved beyond what it began as. It's affected popular culture so strongly it's merged into it. It made the incredible leap that very few works of media can do. It inserted itself into the cultural zeitgeist and it remained. There are very few books, games, films, stories, or people that can become so well known within a smaller subculture that they bleed into and infest popular culture. Very few things ever make the leap from known by a small few to known by everyone. World of Warcraft has followed the same relevancy journey as football, Star Wars, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, The Beatles, Bruce Lee, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Monopoly, McDonald's, YouTube, Tesla, Warhammer, or any other figure or creation that began as something relatively well known within a small subculture and then became so stunningly popular it managed to entrench itself in general culture. Ultimately, you will not kill World of Warcraft because even though it started life as a video game, it has grown and morphed into so much more. People have brought the Horde and the Alliance conflict into real life, and the world of Azeroth is now, historically, more fleshed out than some actual real-life ancient civilization.
Oh my god. I just realized, like,
It's
when he said that, oh my god, it was so funny. Like, they brought it to real life. I just imagine there being, like, a LAN party, and everybody's dressed up as, like, Alliance and Horde, you know? It's like, damn it, Garrett, how dare you use that against my spellcaster? It's not cool, man. Like, this dude's just a bunch of fucking nerds in a room yelling at each other at, like, a WoW LAN party. Like, cut to that when he says, you know, it's been brought to the real world.
It's no longer just an MMO game, and therefore another MMO game will not kill it. World of Warcraft is a personality, a characteristic, a cult, a milestone of modern gaming. It is a...
Dude, can we talk about how accurate that word was? Cult? Like, when he said cults, like, dude, yes, exactly what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, when you say cult, it's like, yes, literally a cult. Like, gamers are the most, like, fickle fucking beings, and I understand it's hard. It's hard to be principled. It really is. It's a difficult life. To put your foot down and suffer the consequences of doing something or not doing something based on your moral compass, and whether what you're doing is like actually good or not, or makes you a bad person, right? For like if the thing you're doing objectively hurts another person, etc. We could get into all kinds of philosophical shit. But the point being is like, I may disagree with somebody, but if they're holding firm to their principles and they're staying accurate to what they've been saying, it's like, all right, I can at least respect the consistency, right? But yeah, no, the cult is like, it goes where corporate wants it to go at this point. And, kudos, they put in the work. They put in years of work to prep their audience. It's the same thing with the Nintendo crowd. It's the same thing with the PlayStation crowd, the Xbox crowd, the whatever, like, corporation you bow to becomes like the thing, And I'm not even that immune to that because I love Steam, I love Steam. Like when the Epic Games started coming out, I was like, fuck this thing. And I know it's not an unpopular opinion to say fuck Epic Games, Steam is better. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I could, I really don't want any other launchers on, on my computer. So it's like, yeah, I do simp for Steam a lot because I like the way Steam works. I've never really had super bad experiences on Steam. I wish they would curate a hell of a lot more than they do because there's, plenty of garbage that gets through their, like, greenlighting system. But, such is life.
A grandfathered in industry standard. It's a cookbook, a branded mouse mat, a convention, a cosplayer, an action figure, a Hollywood blockbuster, a novel, an audio novel.
When you said Hollywood blockbuster, that hurt because I liked the World of Warcraft movie, and for some reason we're not getting any more, and I don't understand why. Like, where's my Warcraft movie? Where's my StarCraft movie? Where's my Overwatch movie? Like, dude, you could make Overwatch into a Netflix show and people would watch it. Like, why the fuck are you not doing this, Blizzard? But do I have any? I'm trying to remember if I have any Blizzard. I do have a Widowmaker. Just because I happened to pick it up. It was like a buy one, get one type of thing. So I was like, I'm going to get one for free anyway, so I might as well just grab it, Do I have any other Blizzard on my shelf? I don't think so. No. Widowmaker is the one pop vinyl I have that is that's from Blizz. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. But even then, I mean, it's still a thing because Overwatch, whatever. Actually, no, I did buy my dad because my dad used to play World of Warcraft too. I bought him like the 6-inch Cataclysm dragon. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, that thing. I think the dragon's name is literally just Cataclysm. But yeah.
Novel, a comic, a curiosity, an addiction, a board game, a collectible card game. It's a fashion, a tattoo, a South Park episode, a celebrity endorsement. It is an entire culture. And you do not kill a culture by making a good video game. Developers see the success of World of Warcraft.
Why was
then
that guy's
they see
hammer
that World
coming
of
off?
Warcraft
It was
is
like,
a game, and they
I think
think
coming
that
off
the
it.
success
I
can
think maybe it
therefore
broke
be
earlier, maybe I had to
reproduced
glue it.
simply by making another game. But that's absolutely not the case. They think they can kill WoW by making a better game than
Nice.
WoW, and this thinking is flawed.
The
because
helmet does
even
not
if they
fit so
do
great,
make
but
a better game,
sure.
the game they make is extremely
The
unlikely
costume's
to
fantastic.
spawn a more successful culture, and so it will always ultimately fall short of killing WoW. Think of the games that came the closest. Final Fantasy XIV is using the might of the Final Fantasy franchise and the funding of Square Enix. It already had a culture behind it. It had cosplayers, cookbooks,
and it
even
still
a
ain't done
real-life Eorzea cafe in Japan, and it
I mean,
still
I hear
hasn't
more about Final
done it.
Fantasy than I
Then
do
the
about
Elder
Warcraft,
Scrolls
though.
Online with the popular success of Skyrim leading
I will
many
say that much.
offline
Like,
single
I don't hear
players
people talk
to the
about Warcraft a lot.
online
I
Elder
hear
Scrolls
people,
Online.
like,
And it has a
God, the amount of
pre-established
marketing
fan
and
base,
everything
and it's
for
a good MMO, and it
FF14 is
still
like,
didn't
Jesus.
dethrone the king. Even Lord of the Rings Online, a game based on one of the most successful fantasy franchises in history, still wasn't enough to shift the cultural significance of World of Warcraft. Ironically, the most damaging MMORPG to release was World of Warcraft Classic, because the best way to damage a cult is to split that cult into smaller sections and invite civil war. Killing WoW
Invite
is no
civil
longer
war.
a case of simply making a better MMO, because WoW isn't just an MMO. It's a part of
Oh
gaming
god,
history.
Iron
The
Forge. I
players
remember
have
going there with
time
my
invested.
dwarf.
The marketing has
Yeah.
legendary adverts.
Great
Chuck
Forge.
Norris,
Yes.
Mr. T.
I've
Guilds,
been there.
clans, and player groups have been formed for years and are held together now not necessarily by love of the game itself, but by love of the community, and they will always remain so. The impact of World of Warcraft will never be less relevant. The long-time players will never be less invested, and the new generation of gamers will never be less curious about trying it. And that is why you cannot kill World of Warcraft, because it's no longer just a game. It's a part of our very culture. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me in this episode of MMO Opinion. If you disagree, feel free to leave a comment below.
No, he spot on, yeah. The only WoW killer is Blizzard, and they're doing a pretty good job. Oh no, yeah. Anyway, let's watch this real quick, then we'll get to the game. Let me make sure I got it up here so we can go straight to it. Also, I got the email back from Novaland, so now they gave me access to like their beta build, so I'll be able to play that. Hold on, let me restart that. I'll turn it down. Smidge. Kind of there. That'll work. But yeah, MMOs, man. Like I said, like you guys have seen me, playing Guild Wars 2. How much fun I have just like hanging out there.
Ours is a cycle of hatred.
Oh, I should probably put the on for you
Alliances
guys. It's a little quiet.
forged and broken. We have paid the price for sharing this world. And we have forgotten what makes us strong.
Close rank! Advance has won! Lordaeron will be ours! My king.
Look at these cinematics. They're so fucking good. Oh my god. The undead archers just firing on them. Look at the explosion goes off. She doesn't even move. She's like, oh, that was inconvenient. My hair blew out of the way. The dwarves with their fucking flintlocks, man. They're so good. The bit in the Warcraft movie where he, looks down the barrel of the gun because it's a new invention, he has no idea what it is. That's such a great setup. And the archers... Ooh, shit, fuck. Are those Draenei archers? I don't know. Maybe. Alright, so now we're back up to the part we were at. But it's still so good. You want to watch it, Yep, there's a troll. I had a troll character at one point. I had a troll, I had a Taurian. I kind of hopped around and tried different stuff. It's been great. Whoops some ass, they're the bad guys, remember. Remember that the Horde are the bad guys. They are the dudes that want to take over the world and shit. At least they were before you had, the Fel and, the Cataclysm Dragon and shit like that coming along. It's so good. It's so good. Here comes the troll caster, man. I think I had a troll rogue, and I didn't have a troll caster. I did have a Taurian. No, my Taurian was a caster as well. I like magic, dude. You put me in a fancy world. I want magic. I want magic, or I want flintlocks. Just that the flintlocks are kind of not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to have guns in a world full of magic, But the idea that guns would still be invented is just fun to me, They got this little fucking young ass kid being the king. No, he's dying. Gotta save the wolf man. Just hammering it home. God damn, you see this kid and it's damn, he's 19, what the hell? And then oh shit, okay. He just bodied a guy with this sword. Oh no, we're all dying. I'm crying. My legs don't work, help me. I can't feel my legs. The reflection in his eyes is fantastic. Yeah. Well, basically everyone in the world is a spellcaster. Everybody who's not a peon alliance soldier basically has some form of magic. Unless you're a pure melee build. Because then everybody else has some form of spells. That looks so good, though, that rendering. It doesn't look photoreal, it just looks good, though. It just looks good. Here comes the reprisal, right? So we had for the Horde, and now wait for it.
Stand as one for the Alliance!
The war, we're going to it. That little smirk she gives, like, you know, right, a proper fight, thank you. This is gonna be fun, you know? And there we go. Oh, what happened? Who won the battle? You decide. Come play World of Warcraft, you know? You gotta come play World of Warcraft for Battle of Azeroth. Like, oh, it's so good. World of Warcraft trailer is always epic. A 2-hour movie at this standard would be my WoW dream. Ooh, this did not age so well. No. I mean, the Warcraft movie was great, though. It was a great little time, you know? Dragged on in some bits, you know, okay. But, no, overall, not bad. Anyway, let's play some Skyrim tonight. Play a little bit. Do a couple things. Do some things and some sturfs and some things. Oop. Let me get my task manager up. Is it gonna go? What the fuck? You guys can't see it. Like your screen's frozen because I was on the thing. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna get the task manager going. Ooh. Ooh. Where's my Skyrim? What the fuck? Bring it back. Oh no! Oh no! It's doing the bug. I gotta quit. Hold on. I gotta quit because there's this really stupid bug where like if you alt tab at the wrong time, it like sometimes if you alt tab the wrong way, it'll break the cursor because it hasn't loaded that in to sync it with where your mouse is currently at on the screen. So it's like it doesn't know, you know. But we back. We playing some Skyrim finally. I finished my burritos. Let's go. We in a crypt fighting skeevers and bandits and shit. Only by signing the peace treaty known as the White Gold Concordat. Can't